Money, wealth, power, control. This is what an average man wants. You want to make a lot of money, you want to have power and influence, you want to control things around you, you want to be wealthy. For a young person, this is like your major pursuit in life. And in this video, I'm going to talk about these 4 things and what you should know as a young person who is on a journey of making more money for yourself, pursuing power, influence, and trying to create wealth for yourself. Amazingly, these 4 things are very key, and at the same time, they are very, very powerful. Imagine if you have the money you want right now sitting in your bank account and much available for you, and you have a lot of it in cash with you. At the same time, you have power to control a lot of things. Imagine what you could achieve in a short time frame. Just take a second and think about this. You can achieve a lot more than you would ever want to achieve. Money, wealth, control, power. So money, of course, when managed properly, will give you wealth. Wealth, of course, will literally help you achieve and gain power. Power, of course, will give you the opportunity to have control. I'm going to say that again. If you manage money well, you can create wealth. If you have a lot of money and you're wealthy, you can access power. If you have power, depending on the level of power, you can control a lot of things that happen to you. Now, this power I'm talking about is not spiritual power, actually. I'm talking about physical power. Let's say you are the president of your country. Such power can give you control to a lot of things. You can travel the world, you can do a lot more, you can make a lot of rules. If it's a system that permits the president to do that, imagine that kind of power. If you have power to control the economics of your country, you can literally play it to your own favor if you want. So power is very important for a lot of us. And of course, everybody wants to have a level of power. It might not be that height of power. It might be the power to guide and control things that happen within your sphere of influence or your sphere of possibility. You are a boss in the office. But why people are pursuing these things, I feel the burden of talking about it and having this conversation with young people and some of the things you need to know if you're going to achieve some of these things for yourself in your lifetime. Let's talk about money. You know, the reward of value is money. Ideally, that's the best way to explain this. If you want to make money, you have to give up value. And the value you give is probably directly proportional to the money you make. That means that the more valuable you are and the more valuable things you can provide, the more money you're going to make. Let me give you a typical example. If you are a software engineer, you've understood different programming languages, and you are hired as a software engineer, you'll be paid based on your level of expertise. If you gravitate to being a senior software engineer, your income, of course, or your payment will, of course, increase. But this is relative. I mean, it's going to be dependent. The amount you are paid dependent on the company you are working with, the kind of product you are working with, and the money the company, of course, has, and the volume of work you are putting into the company's success. So these things are not like casted on stone. There is no typical amount attached to it. But ideally, the more valuable you are, the more value you provide, the more money you make. But let's talk about it in terms of physical product. The more valuable physical product you sell, for someone that sells a Ferrari car or Lamborghini, the kind of people that walk into their store to pay them for those products is going to be different from someone that comes into a store to just buy a baby napkin. So the difference is clear. A baby napkin could just be like $100, $50, or $20, but a Lamborghini, of course, worth thousands of dollars. Right? So the difference is so clear. It's 100% clear. So when we talk about this, the first thing you want to do as a young person who wants to gravitate to the place of influence, power, control, is to first start doctoring the value you are able to provide. And this is why the first phase of development for every man is to become so valuable. Make yourself irresistible in terms of value provision. What is it that you know that if I give you 500 people to influence or to deliver such value, you can deliver it without hassle? So the first point of call is becoming so valuable that your value can provide you more money. That's why they say learn a skill. Learning a skill is basically telling you to improve your value level. So the more skill you have, the more value you have. The more skill you have, the more value you have. The more good you are in your skill, the more valuable you become. So it grows simultaneously. So more value, more money you are going to make. So let's say, for example, you make 30,000 naira now. It's either you are not valuable or you are not offering the value that you have. That is why you are earning such amount of money. So you have to increase the value you are offering, the value you have. So first, these are two ways. If you increase the value you have to now increase the value you offer. So someone that shoots, that's a video content creator, for example, sometimes I spend my leisure, I make time actually to record videos like this for my YouTube channel. YouTube pays me as a YouTube content creator, and aside the work I do, I make money from YouTube. Now, I'm a software engineer. I devote time to building product. I make money building product. I'm a sales funnel guy, and I build sales funnel from my product. Of course, it gives me income, and when I have the opportunity to work with businesses, I work with them to build sales processes for them. That's another income. So, but ideally, the more I improve myself in this skill set, the more I can charge people when I want to offer this value. And that's the basics of it. So you want to make money, become very valuable. And now when you start making money, the next line of action is to build wealth. I was taught that money, income itself cannot provide wealth. Income is not responsible for wealth creation. What is responsible for wealth creation is the ability for you to increase your income and know how to multiply your income. So that means that a civil servant cannot create wealth with just his income unless he understands the principle of money multiplication. So check out any wealthy person you know. They are not dependent on the income they make. They've mastered the act of multiplying their money. Multiplication is building more businesses and infrastructure that will yield more money without them actively working in it. Having investment that generates ROI for them without them actively involved in it. And that's where you can start talking about creating wealth. So wealthy people play a different ball game from someone that is just trying to increase his income. They've gravitated from the point of increasing their income to the point of multiplying their income. So that's when we talk about wealth. And when you've done this, and for you to actively do this, you need to learn financial management. Financial management is where you now consciously understand how to manage the money that comes to you. The money that comes to you is not for you to buy all of the luxury of life. Buy the best iPhone, buy the best laptop in town, where you should buy it if you want to buy it and if you have a need for it, but you should prioritize what you are buying per time. So you don't want to buy the latest car. I mean, these are liabilities, of course. You don't want to buy the latest house, whatever it is, TV in your house, whatever it is, the latest sneakers. All of these things, while they will look good on you and say a lot about you per time in terms of appearance, but that doesn't add value to the chain of growth you want to see in your life. So you want to consciously know when to buy stuff and when not to buy, and what kind of stuff you need per time. So let's talk about a young boy who's growing up. A young boy under the age of 20, 21, 22 who is still trying to discover himself and do more. Even if you stumble on an opportunity that is paying you a lot of money, your ideal goal is not to start living in a 10 million naira rented apartment per year. Because ideally, what is a single guy doing a 10 million rented apartment per year? What you should be thinking at that phase is buying a property, buying a house that you live in, and that house you can either in the future sell it, rent it out, turn it to an Airbnb, or build a family in it. So you have to be conscious. So play the game. If you have 10 million naira to pay for rent every year, as a single person living only you in a particular apartment, why not just look at the option of buying an apartment? So what if you live in a 2 million naira bedroom flat or 3 million bedroom flat, save up the rest over time and buy a full building for yourself? Buy a duplex, buy a bungalow, buy as many as you can, turn them to Airbnb at some point, or even live in any of them if you want to. So the principle of financial management varies. It influences your investment, your purchases, and what you are spending your money doing. And there are a lot of ways to look at it. This probably will be an extensive video I will do some other time. But ideally, if you start increasing your income and you want to start creating wealth, you need to master financial management. This is what I teach anybody that comes through me. You must learn how to manage money. Wastage is not captured for those who are serious about building wealth. Okay, so remember the power of multiplication. Multiplying means that if you have income, multiply it with systems that can allow you to multiply. And there are a lot of ways to multiply your income. by making the right investment, by making the right purchases, by building the right product and businesses. That way you can multiply your income. Now let's talk about the next one. When you've built wealth, wealth actually in our realm of influence, that's in this dimension of reality called earth, what wealth does for you is that it positions you in a situation where you can access things that other people can't access. For example, if you become the richest man in Nigeria, you can walk into the government house and have a meeting with government officials. You could even become a consultant for some key decision making for a country, for a state, or for a region. You become a key player. Imagine if you are the one providing the healthcare infrastructure products in Nigeria, in Africa. You would be invited in a lot of decision making around the health sector. So that gives you access to a level of power and also a level of control. And let's talk about, if you're in Nigeria, let's talk about the lecturer in your department. The lecturer in your department feels he has the power to fail you or to pass you, because in his area of influence, he's in charge of that course. And he's responsible. He can decide to fail you and pass you depending on what he wants. If you underperform, he will fail you. Even if you overperform, he can still decide to fail you. I mean, how the system runs. And I hope it will change one day in Nigeria. Amen. But basically, people have control in the area of their influence. You're a boss in an office, you decide who you employ and who you don't employ. That's a control system. You can decide not to employ anybody that comes from a particular part of this world. That's your decision to make. That's where you can control. Your control, the systems you can control shows how powerful you are. At the end of the day. But let's break it down. For all of these things to play out, you would need patience, diligence, integrity, and consistency to arrive at this point. So when you start up your journey, when you realize it's time for me to build an income system for myself to make money, you have to apply these 4 things. And however, one of the fastest ways to achieve all of these things is to have a mentor who you are going to learn from actively and consistently persist to improve yourself, learning the ways of your mentor. Now, there's a lot to say about this subject topic. This is going to be like the part 1, but this is a series I would want to start doing. But I would like to know if you want me to turn this to a series where I come to my channel, probably on a live video, talk about money, wealth, power, and control, and look at a lot of facets of it through mind engineering system, mind control system, the levels of control, thought patterns, the body and the soul and the spirit, how it works. If you want me to turn this into a series, I'd like to know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, of course, feel free to like it, share it, and tell people to watch this video as well. Copy the link and share on your Twitter and on your WhatsApp. I'm sure this video will bless you and to help you make adjustments to your life. Without any further ado, see you in the next video.